Okay, shut up, you guys. I want to talk about the monkey movie. My lighting's looking a little spooky tonight. I don't hate it. I'm a very mysterious, spooky lady. So I went to see Better Man, the Robbie Williams biopic, and I had a good time. I mean, it had lots of fun musical numbers, and if you watched my Nosferatu video, you know all I really need to be won over is a dance sequence that lasts more than 30 seconds. But this movie has stirred up a lot of discourse, even for people who have no intention of seeing it, mainly for two reasons. First of all, people don't know who Robbie Williams is in North America. I feel like I had some knowledge of him, like I definitely knew at least one song by him. Affection, Angels. But I didn't personally care that I didn't have an in-depth knowledge of this person before seeing the movie, because you know what? I also didn't know who Harry Potter was before I saw Harry Potter. Legend goes Lin-Manuel Miranda didn't know very much about Alexander Hamilton before he happened to pick up his biography at an airport and then decided to make him his entire personality and legacy for the rest of his life. A pre-existing knowledge of a character isn't necessary to enjoy a story. In fact, one might say a story exists so you can learn about the character. But I think people thought it was egotistical or pretentious of Robbie Williams to dare to have a biopic when he's not quite at the level of fame of a Freddie Mercury or an Elton John. And technically he's not part of the creative team. He's not the writer or director or even an executive producer, but he was clearly involved throughout the process, so I get why people might view it as a little pompous. But personally, I am not mad at a guy making a little movie about his life. In fact, I think it's great when people have just enough money and clout to do whatever weird little passion project they want, even if it has very little commercial value. Like, remember when Chris Rock made a Saw movie in the year of our Lord 2021? I love that. I mean, I've never seen it because I think Saw is too spooky, but I like that he wanted to be in a Saw movie, and so he just made one. And the other reason people are mad is because he is a monkey in this one. I say this one like we're gonna get another biopic in like a year from now. I hope we do. Certain people's head would just explode if we got another Robbie Williams biopic. The official reason they've given for why Robbie Williams is a monkey in this one is that he has often throughout his life felt like a dancing monkey. But I've actually come up with several reasons why having your lead as a CGI animal is actually a very practical choice, especially for a biopic. Number one, you don't have to worry about trying to replicate your subject's appearance with the actor. No more Bradley Cooper with questionable nose prosthetics or Rami Malek struggling for his life to get through his lines with oversized veneers on. Your main character can look however you want, and how you want is like a monkey. Similarly, you don't have to worry about aging your actor up or down, or worse, doing that thing where they change actors halfway through. So in a 5-year time jump, your lead is just suddenly so very obviously a different person. In Better Man, the inciting action occurs when Robbie is 15 years old and follows him well into his adult life. Can you tell the difference between a 15-year-old monkey and a 30-year-old monkey? I know I can't. That's why I got fired from my job as a bouncer at the monkey bar. Get it? Monkey bar? That's a thinker. I'll give you a sec. Next, if you're making a movie like Better Man that visually suspends reality and moves into the fantastical, having a CGI animal does you the dual favor of adjusting your audience to the expectation of non-realistic visuals and making them easier to accomplish. In Rocket Man, you have beautiful romantic shots like baby Elton John and grown-up Elton John singing to each other while underwater, but could it have captured Elton John fighting 1,000 other Elton Johns to the death? Maybe. I won't accuse Elton John of being incapable of anything. That goes against the bylaws of the Alphabet Mafia Manifesto, but it would have been hard. Finally, it's free symbolism. Throughout human history, we've used animals to represent stuff. And this means using an animal as an avatar for a character is automatically going to imbue the story with the kind of layers that critics and high school English teachers will just eat right up. Monkeys, for example, are often used to represent chaos and randomness, and they're also beings that are very close to humanity, but distinct from it. There are also these moments in the movie where Williams is performing, often at his most stressed and distraught, and he puts on this obviously fake smile. This would read even if he were human, but it brings to mind how primates baring their teeth are often a sign of fear or aggression. Is that what they intended to portray? I don't know, but it's what I thought, 'cause monkey. So, I think you all know what I'm getting at here. Every biopic from now on should star animals. Now, I know this seems drastic, but don't worry. I am here to talk you through some examples of past biopics and what animal I believe should have gotten the lead, so that we can all get ready to leap into this next stage of cinematic history together. Speaking of Rocket Man, let's start there. Elton John is a peacock. This one's pretty obvious. Elton has always been known for his colorful, larger-than-life appearance, much like our favorite fabulous bird. As you probably know, it's only male peacocks that possess this ultra-colorful plumage, and they utilize it to attract females. So I think it's a very good match for a man who simultaneously dared to be flamboyant in a much more heteronormative time, and also spent a lot of his career in a glass closet and managed to attract his fair share of female admirers. I know what you may be thinking. What about the crocodile Rock? Shouldn't he be a crocodile? And to that I say, when's the last time you did the human twist? The person mambo, the Homo sapien cha-cha slide. Yeah, sounds pretty stupid, doesn't it? Next up, The Wolf of Wall Street, the film about Jordan Belfort, a stockbroker who commits countless cases of fraud, and the even more unforgivable crime of convincing a bunch of dude bros that they can be like Leonardo DiCaprio if they get into crypto. Now, the title of the movie literally has the word wolf in it, so obviously Belfort is a hyena. Wolves are hunters. They create their own food. Yes, they do so by doing some very unpleasant things to bunny rabbits and squirrels, but you can't say they're not upfront about it. What Jordan Belfort did was scavenge, taking what others had earned and making it his own. He did it on a very impressive scale, but the real impressive thing was convincing others that what he did was not obviously theft, that he was a wolf, not a hyena. And also, wouldn't you pay good money to hear Leonardo DiCaprio trying to voice a creature with a high-pitched cackle, who in turn is trying to sound like a creature with a sharp howl? Maybe if he had done that, then Jonah Hill wouldn't have won an Oscar for a Leonardo DiCaprio movie before Leonardo DiCaprio won an Oscar for a Leonardo DiCaprio movie. Next, let's delve into the world of prestige television and visit The Crown. Now, I'm not going to pull a fast one on you for this one. Queen Elizabeth is a corgi, just like she knew deep down in her soul she truly was. Now, corgis are mainly known for one thing, and that's being adorable. Ornamental, if you will, something you might expect of a monarch who is female in the mid-20th century. But if you've ever met a corgi, you know that they are incredibly strong-willed. Not aggressive generally, but try and get a corgi to do something that it doesn't want to do. You'll be there a while. Little buggers. So regardless of your feelings on Lizzie or the British monarchy, these adorable little guys who refuse to be followers are the perfect embodiment of this world leader. And who doesn't like to watch their little butts wiggle? Walk the Line. Johnny Cash, a boy from the backwoods of Arkansas who became a legend of country music, should be played by a creature that represents Americana, perhaps something that feels familiar like a childhood toy, but is also capable of getting pretty gnarly. A bear. Of course, we gotta go with a black bear, both because the geography checks out, and because how great an intro would it be if someone referred to the man in black and then the camera cuts to a big black bear. I'm a simple woman. These are the things I find amusing. Apparently, black bears have been deemed highly efficient hibernators. Imagine being efficient at the skill of eating lots of fatty foods and then falling asleep for months. That doesn't relate to Johnny Cash, I'm just jealous. Now for the most recent flick on this list, barring Better Man itself, A Complete Unknown featuring Bob Dylan as played by Timothée Chalamet. That's right, this is the year I pronounced Chalamet's name right. Now, this isn't the first Bob Dylan film in recent history. I'm Not There was a 2007 film in which many actors depicted characters inspired by different aspects of Bob Dylan's personality, which I suppose would mean there would be an entire zoo of Bob Dylans. Maybe it's like a Muppet movie where all of the Bob Dylans are animal Bob Dylans except for Cate Blanchett, who is human Bob Dylan. But Chalamet Dylan, I believe, is a sloth. Now, the first thing that comes to mind when you think sloth is laziness, and I don't believe that's necessarily true of this character, but there is something about his vibe and physicality that does in fact give off sloth. Maybe it's just that that boy is so damn lanky. This film is mostly about Bob Dylan's eventual rise to success after several stops and starts, and his blending of folk music with rock and roll, which apparently upset a lot of people who didn't have a lot else going on at the time. And I think that slow and steady dedication to his craft and his beliefs, to the point of almost infuriating stubbornness, is reminiscent of this creature who, despite its speed, possesses such a strong grip that it will keep hanging on to trees even after its death. Just imagine it, a peaceful folk music festival, a little sloth comes on stage very slowly and just melts everyone's faces off with its groovy electric music. But wait, who else is in A Complete Unknown? Johnny Cash. Now, he's not played by Joaquin Phoenix, as in Walk the Line, but the two films are directed by the same person. So, yes, Johnny Cash is a bear in this one too. And this, my friends, is the beginning of the Cinematic Menagerie-Verse. Because sometimes one animal lead isn't enough. So I am calling for other animal leads from other biopics to start popping up in each other's, Avengers style. Bear Cash and Sloth Dylan show up in John Lennon the Owl's biopic. Then they all go visit David Bowie the Gecko. I think this all accumulates in Dolly Parton's biopic, where she is a chicken, but not like an average chicken, but one of those partially beautiful, partially ridiculous show hens with the colorful plumage and the wild, poofy chests. In this movie, the animal leads will finally outnumber the human supporting characters, and the Menagerie-Verse will be complete. To close out, some rapid fire. Bohemian Rhapsody, Freddie Mercury is a meerkat. Amadeus, Mozart is a poodle, and Salieri is a black cat. Elvis and Elvis is a hound dog, that's why he was so touchy about that song, but Elvis and Priscilla, that's our wolf. And finally, Social Network, Mark Zuckerberg is an octopus because he's admittedly pretty smart, but also probably an alien. But what animal celebrities do you want to see in the Cinematic Menagerie-Verse? Did you like Monkey Robbie Williams, or did you think it was kind of gimmicky? Do you think all monarchs should be replaced by medium-sized dogs? Because I do. Not small dogs, though, because I think they already thirst for power to abuse. Please do let me know your thoughts. I've really been enjoying reading your comments on my Nosferatu video and getting your interpretations of the film, and also middle versus side part hairdos. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe, and as always, have a delicious day.